Hello everyone. Today is day 4. We will continue to read the Atomic Habits book on page number 39. First, it is two simple step process. Decide the person you want to be and prove it to yourself with a small win. First, decided you want who want to be. Decided who you want to be. This hold at any level, as an individual, as a team, as a community, as a nation. What do you want to stand for? What are your principles and values? Do you wish to become? These are big questions. Many people aren't sure where to begin, but they don't know what kinds of result they want. The six packs apps or feel like annexes or double their salary. It's fine. Start there and work backward from the result you want to the type of a person you could get those results. Ask yourself, who is the type of a person who will go to get the outcome I want? Who is the type of a person that could lose 40 pounds? Who is the type of a person that would learn a new language? Who is the type of a person that could run a successful startup? For example, who is a type of a person who could read a book? It's probably someone who is consistent and reliable. Now, our focus shift from writing a book outcome based to being a type of a person who is consistent and reliable identity based. The process can lead to beliefs like I am a kind of teacher who stands for their students. I am a kind of a doctor who gives each patient the time and empathy they needed. I am a kind of managers who advocate for their employees. Once you have a handle one of these type person you want to be, you can begin taking small steps to reinforce your desire and identity. I have a friend who lost over 100 pounds by asking herself, what would be a healthy person do? All day long, she would use this question as a guide. Would a healthy person walk or take a cab? Would a healthy person order a beauty or a salad? She figured if she acts like a healthy person long enough, eventually he will become that person who is right. The concept of identity based habits is the first introduction to another key theme in this book, feedback loops. Your habit shapes your identity. Your identity shapes your habits. Habit shapes your identity and identity shapes your habits. This is very important. It's two-way street. The formation of all the habits is a feedback loop. A concept we will explore in the depth in the next chapter. But it's important to let our values, principles, and identity driven the loop rather than the result. The focus should always be on becoming the type of a person, not getting a particular outcome. The real reasons habit matters. Identity change is a north star of a habit change. The reminder of this book will provide you with step by step introduction on how to build better habits in yourself, your family, your team, your company, and anywhere else you wish. But the true question is, are you becoming the type of person you want to become? This is the big question. Again, I repeat, are you becoming a type of person you want to become? The first step is not what or how, but who. You need to know who you want to be. Otherwise, our question for the change is like a boat without a rudder. And that's why we starting here. You have the power to change your belief. Sorry. Your identity is not set in stone. You have a choice in every moment. You can choose the identity you want to reinforce today with the habits you choose today and bring us to the deeper purpose of this book and the real reason habits matter. Building better habits isn't about littering your day with life hacks. It's not about losing one tooth each night or taking a cold shower each morning or wearing a same outfit each day. It's not about achieving external measures of success like earning more money, losing weight, reducing stress. Habits can help you achieve all these things, but fundamentally, they are not about having something, they are about becoming someone. Ultimately, our habits matters because they help you to become the type of person you wish to be. There are channels through which you develop our deepest belief about yourself. Quite literate, you become your habits. These are the three levels of change: outcome change, process change, and identity change. There is a summary of now I reading the some part of the summary. Summary of this chapter: how our habit shapes your identity. First, there are three levels of change: outcome change, process change, and identity change. The most effective way to change our habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. Your identity emerges out your habits. Every action is a vote for a type of person you wish to become. Becoming the best version of yourself requires to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity. The real reason habits matters is not because they want to better result, although they can do that, because but because they can change your beliefs about yourself. Chapter number 3: how to build better habits in 4 simple steps. In 1989, a psychologist named Edward Thorndike conducted experiment that would lie the foundation for our understanding how habits form and the rules that guide our behavior. Thorndike was interested in studying the behavior of animals and they started to work with the cats. He would place each cat inside a device known as puzzle box. The box was designed so that the cat could escape through the door by simple act such as pulling a loop of cord, pressing a lever, stepping on the platform. For example, one box container a lever that, when pressed, would open a door on the side of the box. Once the door has been opened, the cat will dart out and run over a bowl of food. Most cats wanted to escape as soon as they placed inside the box. They would poke their nose into the corners, stick their paws through opening, and claws at loose objects. After few minutes of exploration, cat would happen to press the magical lever. The doors opens and they would exit, escape. Thorndike tracked the behavior of each cat across many trials. In the beginning, the animals moves around the box at random, but as soon as the lever has been pressed and doors open, the process of learning began. Gradually, each cat learned to associate the actions of pressing the lever with the reward escaping the box and getting the food. After 20-30 trials, the behavior becomes so automatic and habitual that the cat would escape within the few seconds. For example, Thorndike noted cat 12 took the following time to perform the act: 160 seconds, 30 seconds, 90 seconds, 60 seconds, 115 seconds, 28 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 22 seconds, 11 seconds, 15 second, 20 second, 12 second, 10 second, 14 second, 10 second, 8 second, 8 second, 5 second, 10 second, 8 second, 6 second, 6 second, 7 second. During first three trials, the cat escaped in the average of 1.5 minutes. During the last three trials, it escaped an average of 6.3 seconds. With practice, each cat made few errors and the actions become quicker and more automatic. Rather than repeating the same mistake, the cats began to cut the solution. For these studies, Strondick described the learning process by starting behaviors followed by satisfying consequences tends to be repeat, and those that produce unpleasant consequences are less likely to repeat. This work provides the perfect starting point for discussing how habits form in your own life. It's also provide answer to some fundamental question like what habit are and why does the brain bother building them at all? Why our brain building habits? Okay. A habit is a behavior that has repeated enough times to become automatic. The process of habit formation begins with a trial and error. Whenever encounter a new situation in life, your brain has to make decision how to respond this first time you come across a problems you are not sure how to solve it. Like Thorndick cat, you are just trying things, you see what works. Neurological activities in the brains is high during this period. You are carefully analyzing the situation and making consequence decisions about how to act this. You are taking tons of new information and trying to make sense of it all. The brain is busy learning the most effective course of action. Occasionally, like a cat pressing on a lever, you stumble across the solution. You are feeling anxious and you discover that going for a run calms you down. You are mentally exhausted for a long day of work and trying to learn the play video games and relax you. You are exploring and exploring and exploring and then BAM and reward. After you stumble upon an unexpected reward, you alter your uh, strategy for next time. Alter your strategy for your brain immediately begins to catalog the event that precedes the word. Wait a minute, that feels good. What did I do right before that? This is the feedback loop behind all the human behaviors. Try, fail, learn differently. With practice, the useless moments fade away and the useful action get reinforced. That's a habit formation. Whenever you face a problem repeatedly, your brain begins to automate the process of solving it. Your habits are just a series of automatic solutions that solve the problems and stress you face regularly. As behavioral scientist Jason Hera writes, habits are simple, reliable solutions to recurring problems in our environment. As habits are created, the level of activity in the brain decreases. You learn to lock in on the cues that predict success and tune out everything else. With a similar situation arise in the future, you know exactly what to look for. There is no longer a needed to analyze every, every angle of a situation. The brain skip the process of trial and error and create the mental rule. If this, then that. These cognitive scripts can follow automatically whenever the situation is inappropriate. Now, whenever you feel stress, you you get the itch to run. As soon as you walk in the door from work, you grab a video controller, a choice that once require effort in automate. a habit has been created. Habits are mental shortcuts learning for experience. In sense, a habit is just a memory of steps you previously followed to solve the problem in past. Whenever the conditions are right, you can draw on the memory and automatically apply the same solution. The primary reason the brain remember the past is to better predict what will work in the future. Habit formation is incredibly useful because the conscious mind is the bottleneck of the brain. It can only pay attention to the one problem at a time. As a result, our brain is always working to preserve your subconscious attention for whatever task is more essential whenever possible. The consequence minds like pound of tasks to unconscious mind to do automatically. It is precisely what happens when a habit is formed. Habits reduce the consecutive load and free up mental capacity so you can allocate attention to other tasks. Despite of efficiency, some people still wonder about benefits of habits. The argument goes like, will the habits make my life dull? I don't want to be pigeonhole myself into a lifestyle I don't enjoy. Does so much routine takes away the vibration and spontaneity of life? Hardly such questions set up a false dichotomy. They make you think that you have to choose between the building habits and attending freedom. In reality, the two complementary each other. Habits do not restrict freedom, they create it. In fact, the people who don't have their habits handling are often the ones with the least amount of freedom. With a good financial habits, you will always be struggling for a next dollar. Without good health habits, you will always seems to be short on energy. Without good learning habits, you will always feel like you are behind the curve. If you are always being forced to make decision about a simple task, when should I work out? Where do I where do I go to write? When do I pay the bills? They then you have less time for freedom. That's only by making the fundamentals of life easier, then you can create the mental space needed for free thinking and creativity. Conversely, when you have a habit tidying in the basics life are handled and done, your mind is free to focus on a new challenge and mastering the next set of problems. Building habits in a present allows you to do more on what you want to be in the future. The science of how habit works. The process of building habit can divide it into four simple steps. It is important. The process of building habits can be divided into four simple steps. Cue, carving, response, reward. Breaking down into these fundamental parts can help you to understand what a habit is, how it's work and how to improve it. This four-step pattern is done. Backbone is the backbone of every habit and our brains runs through this step in the same order each time. First, the cue. The cue triggers your brain that initiate behave. It is the bit of information that predicts a reward. Our prehistoric ancestors were pay attention to the cue that signal the location of primary rewards like food, water, sex. Today we spend most of our time learning cue that predicts secondary rewards like money, fame, power, status, praise, approval, love, friendship, or a sense of personal satisfaction. Of course, this pursuit has indirectly improved our odds of survival and reproduction, which is a deeper motivations behind everything we do. Our mind is continuously analyzing our internal and external environment for hints of where rewards are located. Because the cue is the first indication that we are close to the reward, it naturally leads to the carving. Carving are the second steps where the motivational force behind every habit. With some level of motivations and desire, without carving a change, we have no reason to act. What you carve is not habit itself, but the change in the state it's delivered. You don't carve smoking a cigarette. You carve the feeling of relief it's provide. You are not motivated by brushing your teeth, but rather than the feeling of a clean mouth. You don't want to turn on television. You want to be entertained. Every carving is linked to the desire to change your internal state. This is an important point that we will discuss in the detail later. Carvings differ from person to person. In the theory, your a piece of information will trigger a carving, but its practice people are not motivated by the same cue. For a gambler, the sound of slot machines can be a potent trigger that sparks an intense wave of desire. For someone who rarely gambles, the jingling minglings of casinos are just background noise. You are meaningless until they are interpreted. The feel, the thoughts, feelings, and emotion of observers are what transform a cue into carving. The third step is response. The response is actually the habit you perform, which can take the form of thoughts or action. Whether a response occurs depends on how motivated you are and how much friction is associated with the behavior. If a particular actions require more physical or mental efforts than you are willing to expand, then you won't do it. Your response also depend on your ability. It sounds simple, but the habits can occur only if you are capable of doing it. If you want to dunk a basketball, but you can't jump high enough to reach the hoop, you will not, you are out of luck. Finally, the response deliver a reward. Rewards are the end goal of every habit. The cue is about noticing the reward. The carving is about wanting the reward. The response is about obtaining the reward. We chase rewards because they serve two purposes: satisfy us and teach us. The first purpose of reward is to satisfy the carving. Yes, rewards provides benefit on their own. Foods and water deliver the energy you need to survive. Getting a promotions bring you more money and respects. Getting into shapes improve your health and your dating prospect. But the more immediate benefit is the satisfy your carving to eat or gain status win to improve win approvals. At least for the moments, rewards deliver contentment and relief for carving. Second, reward teach us which actions are worth remembering in the future. Our brain is a reward detector. As we go about our life, our sensory nervous system is continuously monitoring which actions satisfy our desire and deliver pleasure. Feeling of pleasure and disappointment are the part of feedback mechanism that helps our brain distinguish useful actions from useless ones. Rewards close the feedback loop and complete the habit cycle. If behavior is insufficient in any of four stages, it will not become a habit. Eliminate the cue and your habit will never start. Reduce the carving and you won't experience enough motivation to act. Making the behavior difficult, you won't able to do it it and if the rewards fails to satisfy your desire, then you will have no reason to do it again in the future. Without these three steps, the behavior will not occur, and without all four, the behavior will not repeat. In summary, the cue the cue triggers carving, which motivates response, which provide a reward, which satisfy carving, and ultimately become associated with the cue. Together, these four steps are neurological feedbacks: cue, carving, response, reward. Cue, carving, response, reward. That ultimately allows you to create automatic habits. This cycle is known as habit loop. Okay, almost this is page number 51. We'll stop here and we will continue it tomorrow. This is day 4. Thank you for hearing.